What if the thing you call confidence is actually control? What if you are not calm? What if you're just very good at managing everything before it has a chance to fall apart? The meals, the calendar, the emotions in the room, the children, the messages, the work, the timing, the tone, the possible reactions, the future problems that have not even happened yet. And from the outside, people may say, "You're so organized. You're so grounded. You are so strong. You always know what to do." But inside, it does not feel like peace. It feels like bracing. It feels like scanning for danger. It feels like if I stop holding all of this, something will collapse. So today I want to talk about the difference between confidence and control because they can look similar from the outside, but inside they feel completely different. Type live in the comments if you're watching this live or replay if you're watching this later. And put yes in the comments if you have ever looked calm on the outside, but inside you were managing. I used to think I was confident, and in some ways I was. I could organize, I could lead, I could manage complicated things. I could take responsibilities, carry them. I could make things work. But when I look back now, I can see something very clearly. A lot of what I called confidence was actually control. It was not the quiet knowing of I can meet life as it comes. It was more like I need to predict everything, prepare for everything, and hold everything together so nothing goes wrong. And that's not confidence. That is fear with a good calendar. That is anxiety wearing a professional outfit. And it was a professional outfit. And that is survival that learned how to look impressive. And maybe you know this too. Maybe you are the one who always has the plan, the one who anticipates everyone's needs, the one who feels responsible for the emotional temperature in the room, the one who cannot fully rest because your mind is already solving the next problem. And the people admire it, but they do not feel its costs. And they do not feel what it costs you. You see, control gives the illusion of safety. It takes you, it makes you feel like I can just manage enough. If I can just manage enough, I will be okay. If I stay ahead, I will be okay. If I do everything by myself, I will be okay. If I keep everyone happy, I will be okay. If I predict the next problem, I will be okay. If I don't let anything slip, I will be okay. But here's the problem: control does not actually create peace, it creates temporary relief. For a moment, you feel better because something is managed. But then the mind finds the next thing, the next risk, the next task, the next conversation, the next person who might be disappointed, the next thing that could go wrong. And then you have to control again. Not because you're weak, but because mind believes safety depends on keeping everything in place. And so it means you are trapped in the loop. I remember a season in my life where Every single moment was scheduled. I had a list for everything: work, meals, children, movement, downtime, even the things that were supposed to help me relax became something I had to manage. And it looked good, it looked responsible, but behind the scenes, I was running on anxiety and adrenaline because the thought underneath everything was, if I loosen my grip, everything will collapse. And if you know what it feels like to hold everything so tightly because you're afraid of what might happen if you let go, type grip in the comments. You see, confidence and control come from different states of mind. And control comes from fear, and confidence comes from trust. Control says, I need to know what will happen. And trust says, I can meet what happens. Control says, if I don't do it, it won't get done. Confidence says, I can take the next step without carrying the whole future. Control says, I need to manage everyone's reaction. And confidence says, I can be honest and let others have their experience. Control says, I am only safe if everything goes according to the plan. And confidence says, I'm still here, even when the plan changes. And this is very connected to what I teach again and again. It's not about the situation, it's about the state of mind we meet the situation from. Because when you meet life from fear, everything looks like a threat. A message becomes criticism, silence becomes rejection. A child not listening becomes proof that nobody respects you. A work problem becomes proof that everything is on you. A bill becomes the beginning of disaster story. A difficult conversation becomes danger. But when your state of mind shifts, the same situation can look different. Not because the outside magically changes, but because you are no longer looking through the same fear. You are no longer adding the whole story. You are no longer trying to control the mirror. You are no longer trying to grip to everything. And you're looking at what it reflects, what the mirror reflects. And this is where the question becomes, who is steering? Is it your wisdom or is it your fear? Who is steering right now? And when you let go of that control, that does not mean you're giving up. You are returning to the wisdom. You see, I think many high achieving women here let go and they immediately think, so I should stop caring? No, that's not what I mean. Letting go does not mean becoming careless. It does not mean letting your life fall apart. It does not mean pretending responsibilities do not exist. It does not mean never planning again. It means you stop using control as a way to feel safe. And that's a difference, a big one. You stop believing that your peace depends on managing every possible outcome. You stop trying to carry the whole universe in your nervous system. And you return to the place inside you that can actually see clearly. And that is what I call a home base, that quieter place, the place where the mind is not rushing into 10 different disaster stories. The place where you can hear the next step, not all steps, just the next one. Because control wants the whole map. Wisdom often gives you one step, and one step is enough, completely enough. You see, I remember one evening sitting alone at the kitchen table. The house was quiet. Every light was off except the one above me. And for the first time in weeks, I just sat there, not performing, not multitasking, not pretending I was fine, not trying to hold everything together. And the sentence that came up was, I don't want to carry all of this anymore. It was not dramatic, but it was really honest. And I think this was the beginning of something important. Not it was not the moment when everything changed, but it was the moment I stopped lying to myself. Because I was not peaceful, I was controlling. I was not grounded, I was bracing. I was not confident. I was trying to prevent disaster. And when I finally saw that, I had a choice. I could keep tightening my grip, or I could start returning to trust. And if you're ready to loosen the grip, even just a little, come and trust. And I would love to give you one small practice today because we are not here only to talk about this. We want to start seeing it in the real life. So, next time you feel yourself trying to control everything, pause and ask yourself these three questions. What am I afraid will happen if I let go? Not what needs to be done. What am I afraid will happen? The second one, am I responding to what is actually happening or the story my mind is adding? And this is a powerful question because the situation is one thing, but the story around it is so much bigger usually. And the third one, what is one next step from clarity, not fear? Not 10 steps, not a whole plan, just one step, one next step. Maybe one next step is to send message. Maybe it's to wait, to ask for help, to say no, to stop for 5 minutes and let your body breathe, to do nothing until your mind settles. And that is the quick win for today. When control appears, do not immediately obey it. Ask, what am I afraid of? What story is my mind adding? What is one next step from clarity? And that is how you start moving from control to confidence. Not by forcing yourself to let go, but by seeing who is steering. So if you have been confusing control with confidence, I want you to know this. You're not doing it because you're broken or is anything wrong with you, but you're doing it because some part of you has been trying to feel safe. But control is exhausting because it asks you to manage life before life even happens. Real confidence is different. It's quieter. It does not need to predict every outcome. It does not need to manage every reaction. It does not need to hold everyone and everything together. Real confidence says, I can meet what comes. I can listen for the next step. I can return to myself before I react. I do not have to manage the entire universe to be safe. And if you are Tired of proving, carrying, managing, controlling, and still feeling like somehow it's never enough? I have a free resource linked below that can help you start seeing the deeper patterns behind that feeling. And if a fear of judgment is a part of why you keep controlling, if you are afraid people will misunderstand you, judge you, be disappointed, or see you as not enough, there is also a gentle $7 course link below that can help you begin releasing fear of judgment and shame. Both links are in the comments below. And if this live helped you see something clearly today, subscribe because I'm going live for 30 days and we're now moving into the next phase. I will not only talk about patterns, but also give you one small shift you can actually practice in your day. So for today, remember this. Control asks you to carry the whole future. Today is not my day, and I'm just getting wobbling all around. Um, and so control asks you to carry the whole future, but confidence asks you to come back to yourself and take the next step. Thank you for being here today. Breathe, soften, and come home to yourself.